Hi everybody, it's Jean here. I am working on my collage quilt, my dress by Laura Heine, the pattern that I showed you. This is about part 3. Jen and I were doing part 1, the introduction to collage quilting. My second part was I was showing you the last video how I got my pattern onto my fabric. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the fabrics I chose for my quilt. Well, I'll put my camera down and I'll show you the progress so far. I have been collecting fabric, as you know, for ages, and I started cutting out a bunch of rectangles of all different fabrics. Again, I did not follow the pattern or the instructions. I will explain to you how I got the skirt. I sort of winged it. I just sort of eyeballed it. I really couldn't be bothered, like, you know, tracing every single ruffle and every single tier. So I just sort of eyeballed it, but I show you what I did. I've been collecting my fabrics, but I know as the film goes on, I have quite a few clips that I'm just going to put together. I know as the film goes on, you eagle-eyed people are going to see on either side of the bodice, on either side of her vest, her waistcoat, they're going to see two places where some glue that I used is sort of showing through. Looks like wet. I know you guys are going to go, oh, what did she do? Well, what I did, bummer, what I did, it's fine. What I did, I had run out of my glue sticks. So I had in my handy dandy notions, I had Elmer's glue, clear glue. Well, I'm thinking washable clear glue. I use Elmer's glue stick. So I'm thinking, oh, I'll just use glue. I'll just use glue on it, right? This glue and washable glue sticks are not the same. Glue sticks obviously spread it. What I didn't do is I didn't smear the glue. I didn't want to do that. And I've been spoiled with my glue sticks and the application. So on two of the places that are very visible, it looked like wet behind it. Or I just went a couple drops of glue. And I thought, ow, no one's going to notice it. But you guys did. You guys will. You'll be on the lookout now. It was on a blue, there were two blue pieces, pale fabrics. So I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to do? So I'll show you what well, no, I'm not going to show you because this is just my introduction, and then I'm going to finish it with a few clips what are coming up. But I put a piece of green and I put a bit of blue. I'll probably show that in the next video. So I covered them up. I didn't remove them because let me tell you, this glue is awesome. This glue is unbelievable. It's better than glue sticks. Man, it glues stuff down and it'll wash out. I don't really care about that, but like it really does work if you use it and you smear it. It's really inexpensive, cheapo. But what did I do? I went out and I got my handy dandy glue sticks. I got a million of them. I love my Elmer's glue sticks. It's awesome for applique. I just love them. You can get really good sewing glue, you know, I don't know, for dollars and dollars and dollars a bottle, which is awesome. Knock yourself out. I use these. Oh, and another thing, so I'm just going to show you what I did. Let me just tell you about the few clips that are coming up. As you know, my quilts evolve, and I'm using a pattern which 90% of it is awesome. I decided, along with my son, Elliot, we had so much fun. It was late at night. We had so much fun, and we were getting a bit punch drunk with ideas and silliness. We decided to change her up a bit. What you see at the end will be pretty much the image, but I've honed her face and her nose. Don't worry, her eye and her face is beautiful. I didn't use what we had done. So at one point she looks a bit like I don't know, Wurzel Gummidge in England, and Orphan Annie with the hair. That's not what I'm doing. But you'll see at the very end an idea of what we've come up with, and I've honed in on it. This is not by any means near done. I'm cutting out fabric now. As I was saying, I've been cutting out tons and tons of different fabrics. That you've seen, the collages. But I just wanted to show you something that I shared, and this is so silly. Reduce, reuse, and recycle, right? a friend of ours, Harry, had come and he bought our family some beautiful homegrown tomatoes. They were so nice. They were beautiful. He wrapped them all up, each one individually in paper towels. Oh, delicious. And he gave me a whole box of these beautiful tomatoes. It was a Florsheim shoe box, and that's a very, very good shoe, and it's a very substantial box. Well, my husband, as soon as the tomatoes were gone, he tossed the box out, right? And I'm like, I like that box. And my kids were like, oh, Mom, it's just a box. And I'm like, no, but it's a really nice box. I mean, it's not a cheapo garbage box. It's like a really nice, sturdy box. So I got it out of the trash when my husband wasn't looking. And just what I need, but look what I did, is I covered it in a very inexpensive gift wrap. Like, isn't that nice? Like, I need more storage. But I covered it, and I was so thrilled, and it's holding my box of scraps for this quilt. So that's by the by, that's neither here nor there, but there is my box for my scraps, reduce, I reused, I'm very proud of it. I love my box. I don't love this glue for my application. That can stay there. I love glue sticks. And we're messing around with her. I'm having so much fun. And what I was thinking about, this is just in general of what I've done. I'm going to be probably blinging her out. I did get a hot fix gluer beater sequin thinger down, crystal thing. I don't know how to use it, but I think this is just as a true wall hanging. I'm gonna bling her out if I know how to do it. I've gotten, and apparently some people say the things are washable. Some people say they're not. I'm not washing it, but I'm going to bling her out. So she's going to be really, really blingy. I have to do her legs yet. I haven't done that. I'm just putting on her flesh color arms, chest, head. I have to do her legs. We've decided she's going to have ballet flats on, and Elliot did a nice pattern for me to follow on her legs. And then I'll start gluing the borders around, as you saw in my last video. So here she is. I made mistakes. I've corrected them. I put her a ruffled petticoat on, which you'll be able to see, which I explain. And I'm working on her face. And her face is going to be glorious. It's really going to be very pretty. And some lovely accents that Elliot and I have come up with. But I'll be working on. So this is part 3 of my collage. Not a tutorial, but yeah, it is a tutorial. Figure out how I did this pattern, the dress by Laura Heine. So here we go, folks. Hang on to your hats because we were getting a bit silly. But hopefully you'll learn something. Okay, thanks. So here's the skirt of my dress, my lady. Now, I was saying in my last video, I didn't know how I was going to address the pattern, which is here, all of the ruffles and the tiers, okay, which go all the way up around her arm. There's her vest and all around here. Oh, I just want just to show you one thing. On the pattern, I don't know if this is a pattern flaw, but you see all of the tiers. You have tiers and ruffles all over, flipping up like a petticoat. Look at this bit here. It's a really long bit of ruffle, and I looked at the pattern envelope. I don't know where it is. I looked at the pattern envelope, and it seemed as if they were pieces. So I think on the pattern, maybe they just forgot to make a line. So on my skirt, there's the pattern. On my skirt over here, I just added a couple pieces over there. Now, I know that this pattern calls for steam-a-seam. Now, I've used steam-a-seam a million times. It's a two-sided fusible web adhesive that one side, it's for applique, one side adheres to the back of the fabric, the other side adheres to the foundation, and then you peel off the paper and you iron it on. And I believe the pattern shows that you cut out the steam-a-seam, or you adhere the steam-a-seam to the pieces of the pattern, cut out pieces of a pattern a little bit bigger than the actual piece there. You would adhere the steam-a-seam to the back of it. You then cut it to, you then mark it somehow, I don't know, to the size of that bit right there, and then you cut it to size, and then you peel it and you adhesive it. Okay? Well, I didn't do that. I just sort of eyeballed it. As you saw, my lady was penciled, okay? There's like the vest. There's her chest. So I had all of these ruffles penciled in. But I just thought, oh, I can't be bothered. So I just literally eyeballed the images. It doesn't take a rocket science to do that. I just curved all of these images, and I started out obviously on the bottom because they all have to sort of overlap from the top down like ruffles would. So I just started from the bottom of the dress and then just went in tiers. Now nothing is glued down. I've just cut out all these images, and I just rounded the corners. It's not exact. It really isn't. This is sort of exact, but now I'm going to put the waistcoat, the vest on exact. I've got to figure that one out. These aren't exact, but boy, it looks great. They're almost exact, but they're not steam-machined down. I'm going to now glue them down. So they're 95% like the pattern exactly, and the other 5% there's not. So now what I'm going to do is very carefully, because some overlap the others and some overlap the others, what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully see, oh, you see there's the foundation. So I made it a bit smaller, so that covers. So I'm going to now glue down whatever is to be glued, like this one under here is to be glued there and under there, and then this one will be glued on top, and I'll just continue around. This one gets glued over there, this one gets glued on top of that one, and so forth. So that's how I did my skirt. Now for her vest, her arms, and her legs, I'll come over here, and I do think I will put a few pieces of paper together. If you remember my penny farthing, when I trace it on my computer, well, I'll do the exact same thing as I did, sort of. I'll just put two pieces of paper, and I will trace a pattern just for her waistcoat. I want to get that perfect. The majority of the skirt is perfect. It's fine. But I will trace this pattern on another piece of paper, and then I will adhere that, and then I'll trace that pattern perfectly cut out on a piece of fabric, and then I'll cut out my fabric for that vest there. I will do the exact same thing for her arms, her chest, and her face. So, oh, this is, you didn't see that. That's what the head piece looked like. In my last video, I didn't show that. And there's the eye. It's just one eye. Now I have to, and that's the crown. But in my last video, I showed you how I sort of put the fabric collage bits around her head. But right now, I'm going to be concentrating on gluing down my skirt, which is here. Again, collage, explosion of color. Now, do you see how that background just fades with that explosion of color? My last video showed that I had all of the, on this side, I had all of the explosion of florals, which I'm going to do. So your eye travels all around the quilt. Now I have to address her legs, and that I will do a double layer of the muslin and the fabric, and I have the pattern for her legs, so I'll just stick her legs down here. Oops, there goes my pattern piece. And yeah, so now I'm just working on this, and I'm going to get my Elmer's glue stick, and I'm going to start sticking down my skirt with my Elmer's glue stick. Here's my girl upside down. I have finished gluing on her skirt. As you can see, she's upside down. Now what I'm going to be doing, I'm letting the glue just dry and set, because I won't be stitching that on until I do my final quilting. But what I am going to be doing now is I have my quilt pattern. I folded it in half. And what I want to do, let me just see here, I want to make her vest. I want to get a pattern for her vest. So again, as I've told you before, I did this in a black Sharpie so I can really see the pattern. It was just sort of printed on lightly. So I did that. And what I've done is I've taken 2 pieces of paper and just taped them together. And I can see, I did 4 pieces of paper. I'm doing 1 on each side. I'll just do 1 bit. I can see the image, maybe you can't, but I can see the image of her vest. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to outline and make a pattern. Just have to hold it down. You can see that's a real, you really have to use a Sharpie to get the pattern. Now I'm not quite sure. So there's my pattern. There's my pattern, and I know that will be really good for there. I'll just cut that out. I don't know what fabric I'm going to use yet. I'll do this one. Now, I'm not quite sure, and the pattern really doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't call, I don't know what's in here. I don't know if it's, I don't know what it is. Maybe some lace or something I'll put with buttons on top of it or something to embellish her base. But it's sort of wiggly. I don't know what I'm going to do there. But I do think at the very end of the day, I think I'm going to sort of bling her out. I might put some bedazzles on it. As you know, Jen and I were really anxious to do that. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side when I do that. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on her arms. And I have gotten over there somewhere some like a skin colored fabric. So I'm going to do her face, her chest, her arms, and then her legs down there with the skin color fabric. This is the only way, this is the only one that I'm making a pattern. My entire skirt, as you saw, I just winged it. I just eyed it. It looks great. As I said, it's about 95% following the pattern, and the rest I just eyeballed it. So yeah, so there's how I'm going to make her vest.